Hey, boys and girls, we are going to try and answer a question today. What is a summary? Summaries can kind of be a little confusing, so we're going to go through some steps and see if we can figure out what a summary is. A summary of a story is much shorter than the story. You're not going to want to read the whole story to see what the story is about. If you look at the back of a book, you'll see a short paragraph or a few sentences that'll give you an idea of what that story is going to be about. You'll see the same thing on the back of a DVD, or if you're just looking online for a summary of a movie to see if you want to go and see that movie. It's just going to give you some information to let you know what it's about without telling you the whole entire story, because that would be way too long. Summarizing is telling the important events or ideas in a story in your own words. So you're looking at things like the main idea of the story and the main characters and the main events that are important to the story, but not every single thing that happened. A good summary does not give your ideas or opinions. That would be for a review or some other kind of writing, but a summary is really just giving the main points and ideas of that story without you influencing or putting your opinion in it at all. To summarize a story, you need to include the story elements. We've talked about story elements, and those are the main points in the story. So you should include the setting, which would be where the story takes place. You would include the main characters. Now, that would be the main person or animal in the story, and then those characters that they are interacting with throughout the whole story. There might be some side characters in there somewhere, but they're not probably the most important characters to the plot, so you don't have to mention them. You're also going to include information about the problem. That's whatever conflict or difficulty the main character is up against. Something's wrong in the story, and that's what makes it interesting to read. And you're also going to want to include information about the solution. That's how the main character or someone helped to solve or fix this problem that they were having. Now, when we read summaries about books on the back of the book or about a movie, it doesn't tell us all of this plot information because then it would kind of spoil it. But when you're writing a summary about a book that you've already read, you're going to include this information because you want to be able to show that you understood what you read. We've heard the story Little Red Riding Hood, so we're going to see if we can use some of those story elements and the main idea to kind of retell this story in a summary. So let's think about it. Little Red Riding Hood goes to visit her grandmother, but she meets a sneaky wolf in the woods. What do you think? What story elements do we have so far? I want you to see if you can figure them out. Pause the video if you need to and see if you can figure out those story elements that are in this sentence. Did you figure it out? We've got the main characters. We've got Little Red Riding Hood, and we've also introduced this sneaky wolf, and we've mentioned the grandmother. We've also talked about the setting because it mentions that this happens in the woods. Okay, let's see what else we can do. He tricks Little Red into thinking he is her grandmother so that he can eat her. We're getting into some of the problem now. The problem that Red is dealing with is that she's being tricked by this wolf. Is she going to fall for it? Is she going to get eaten? Let's continue. In the end, a woodcutter saves Little Red and her grandmother from the wolf. Now, what story element is this over here? You're right, it's the solution. So we've got the main characters introduced up here with the setting. We've got the problem is that Little Red is being tricked and she might get eaten. And then the solution down here comes from this nice woodcutter that comes and saves them. So we've got all those story elements, and this only took 3 little sentences. So that's how you write a summary. They can be pretty short and sweet. Okay, let's review. A summary is a short retelling of the main idea of a story. A summary includes only a few important details. Whatever is really important to the plot, to that problem and solution, you can include, but you're not going to include every detail about how it was fixed or maybe even the other ways that the character tried to fix it before it was finally fixed at the end. You can use the story elements to help you summarize a story. So, looking at the setting, the main characters, the problem and solution, those are going to be the main things that you're going to want to include in that summary. And that's pretty much it.